How's it, and welcome to the Caravelle T6.1. I've had the privilege of driving this car for a couple of weeks over the December break. I've taken it on some interesting roads, and I've got a couple of interesting takeaways for this car. So I bet the first thing you're asking is, what makes the T6.1 different from the T6? Because this is not a massive leap to like the T7, so it's different but not new. This is more of like a facelift and kind of just bringing the Caravelle into the what I could only call the modern Volkswagen era, with all their sort of new toys and new tech. So first off, on the outside there's a new grille and a new bumper, so it looks kind of just neater. They've kind of tidied it up a lot. It's a lot smaller. The sort of grille's a lot thinner. Comes with new LED daytime running lights too. So it just, the whole front of the vehicle is just a little bit fresher. The most sort of obvious place where they've made a change that helps distinguish the T6 from the T6.1 is that just next to the lights there's a little badge in chrome that says Caravelle. So if you see one driving on the side of the road and you have a look on the side, you'll see Caravelle. That's the 6.1. If it doesn't say Caravelle on the side, then well, it's just the T6. On the inside, they've made a whole bunch of changes as well, which has actually been really nice. So in front of me here, there's a new shelf, which is a cool place to kind of put stuff and paperwork, especially if you're on sort of the open road and a bit of a drive. There's also a 12-volt socket there, so you can actually plug stuff in there, cameras, phones, tablets, all kinds of stuff. Leave it in the shelf over there. The passenger side has had a sort of increase and upgrade in its storage compartments. What is really big in the T6.1 though is the fact that they've added this wireless car charger. So it's like a little slot you just slide your phone into. There are two sort of rubber teeth at the bottom that grip your phone, and it's a wireless charging mat. So you literally just like shove your phone in there and like it takes care of the charging for you. That works particularly well on any modern iPhone because the T6.1 comes with wireless CarPlay. So you're literally in a situation where you can get into the 6.1 with your iPhone. You can just put your iPhone in there. It's going to charge while you drive, and it's going to wirelessly connect to your CarPlay. So there's like no need to plug cables in, which is just fantastic. Wireless Android Auto doesn't work, although it does charge my Android. So if you have an Android like me, you still need to plug it in, which kind of sucks, but we're happy for the iPhone users. A big change on the inside in terms of cables as well is the fact that they've switched to only Usbc ports. So there are two in the front and there are two at the back. The back only does power, it doesn't do the CarPlay. The two in the front does do the CarPlay. For anybody with like legacy cables, this is a problem. You can get USB-C to USB-A converters, but anybody who's bought kind of any newer phone, you've likely gotten a USB-C cable in the box, and so that works. I think it's the right thing to do. I know it's going to be like a painful transition period, but it's the kind of thing that just like has to be done. Let's stay on the infotainment system here. The Caravelle comes standard with what they call the Discover Pro Media System, which is the top end, the big one, the fancy one. It's got navigation installed, so it comes with a 10.25-inch screen in the front here, which is just fantastic. It looks great, gets lots of fingerprints on it really quickly, but it's got motion sensors as well, so you can actually swipe between menus and a few bits and pieces by just like waving your hand at it. So that reduces the touch on the screen. The other thing that's really cool about the Discover Pro and the new sort of version of software that they're running on these things is that it's quite customizable. You can actually move icons around. There's a whole bunch of different layout options you can do, which is quite cool. It's a nice step forward from the era of cars where you quite literally had like 6 icons in the middle and that's it, and you like tap one, choose one, and move on. Like, this is really customizable. It's really has brought the software into like a new era. Some other cool tech that's built into this Caravelle, which has been really useful, is it's a big car. Driving it on the road, you're kind of aware of the fact that it's really big, so it comes with a couple of challenges. Trying to change lanes can be challenging to make sure you don't take out some poor little Daihatsu on the left. So it comes with lane change assist. It's a little orange kind of light that sits on the mirror. It's adjustable in how bright you can make that light, which is quite cool. So when you start indicating or when you pass a car, it actually shows you, like illuminates orange, and when you indicate, it actually flashes orange and goes like, don't go now, you're going to take out the Daihatsu, which is just fantastic. It comes with hill start, so you're not rolling back on hills. The 4Motion version of the Caravelle comes with a hill descent control as well, which is great. So if you find yourself off-road, you're going down a steep hill, you can actually just engage the hill descent and it'll kind of take care of you going down the hill. Loaded, this car can get quite heavy. I think it can carry just over 2 tons. It also comes with a tow bar, and an optional extra with the tow bar is trailer assist. So I've fiddled with this trailer assist a couple of times. It's great. Trailer assist is fantastic. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. I think if you've never reversed with a trailer, the trailer assist is absolutely golden, because you quite literally engage it, you press the button, it comes up, you use the mirror knobby to kind of say where you want the trailer to go. It sorts the wheel out and backs you up and puts the trailer in that position. It's really cool. It's something you can learn when you get the car, especially if you're not used to backing up trailers. Move slowly and it'll put the trailer exactly where you tell it. I've spent a lot of my life reversing trailers. I'm quite used to it, so I've actually personally just found the trailer assist a little onerous. Like, I can do it quicker and more accurately just by myself. So like, if you're new to reversing with trailers, the trailer assist is like an absolute must-have. It is fantastic. And because the car's so big, living in any kind of windy place, Cape Town, PE, or just driving through the Karoo, as I discovered, one of the features built into this car is Crosswind Assist, which is actually, it's kind of, when they described it and they told us about it at the launch, I was like, yeah, like, okay, cool feature, you know, it's like sales gimmick. But like, actually experiencing the Crosswind Assist, you can feel the wind beating on the car, but you can also see the car kind of correcting for it. And so you're driving along, the wind is absolutely pummeling the car from the side, but you're not kind of violently fighting it. And the big thing that the Crosswind Assist helps with, and this is what I found in the Karoo, is like, you go through places where like you're fighting the wind and the wind suddenly stops. So if you were sort of manually fighting the wind and it suddenly stops, you find yourself changing lanes quite rapidly. The Caravelle actually takes care of a lot of that. So like, you can go through wind gusts and it's a lot more stable. You don't feel as sort of unsteady on the road as you would if you were just driving along fighting the wind. So under the bonnet, they have kept the 2-liter TDI engine, except this time they've made it a bi-TDI, so it's like a bi-turbo engine. It produces 146 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque, which is actually like a lot of power for this car. At one point, I did have the Caravelle fully loaded. We had 6 people in the Caravelle and a trailer that was fully loaded, and this thing just went like it was nobody's business. So fully loaded, it's great. Power's ample, torque is great. It's not a performance car, so you don't want to go fast, but it's enough power to pull just about anything this car is sort of rated to pull. Comes with a 7-speed Dsg Gearbox. I don't say anything about DSG. Anybody who knows anything about the Volkswagens knows that the DSG gearboxes are just absolute peaches. So great. It's just changes gears without me even realizing it's doing that. It's got a sport mode, which doesn't do much other than just keep the revs up. If you need a bit more power, haven't found that I needed it. It just does a fantastic job of handling the power and working it out. So the Caravelle, to kind of stand out from the rest of the range, because there's like 7 or 8 variants in the range, they've added a lot of chrome bits. So I mentioned the Caravelle signage on the outside, or the Caravelle branding on the outside earlier. That's kind of wrapped in chrome. There's chrome insets on the steering wheel. There's chrome insets on the vents. There's like chrome hidden in like a bunch of different places around the car, which just gives it a slightly more premium feel over like the Combi, and obviously justifies a bit of the price point. The other thing that gives us a really nice premium feel is the Nappa leather seats. It's like front to back, all the way at the back. I mean, the back bench is the same nice, comfortable leather that the driver's seat is. It's just fantastic. Both front driver and passenger seats are electronic. They've got lumbar support. They're great. So it's a really quality vehicle on the inside of the car. There are 17-inch Woodstock black rims on this Caravelle, which actually look really nice, and it's got this absolutely gorgeous blue color, which, like, outside of the white and red two-tone Caravelle, which is absolutely the one I would have every day of the week, this would be my second choice. This would hands down be my second choice for a color on a Caravelle. And the wheels just match this blue fantastically. There are also like a whole range of new wheels available with the Caravelle. So I'd head over to VW's website and go check it out. There's a whole bunch of, you can see them in action and all their names, but there's some really, really cool stuff, which make the T6.1 just stand out enough from the T6 that you don't feel like you've basically bought a new Caravelle that comes with some fancy new lights. So the biggest highlight for me in the Caravelle, and the sort of biggest change that I was like the most excited about, is the digital cockpit. Now, the digital cockpit is nothing new in the VW group. They've been putting these in cars for a good 4 or 5 years now. But in the Caravelle with this Discover Pro media, the digital cockpit, it just feels like this entire car has taken a leap into the future. The digital cockpit has obviously like a variety of different settings. You can have from like full nav on the cockpit to a whole bunch of car information. You can make it minimal. You can put dials on the screen if you wanted to. There's an entire range of different options how you can configure that, and it just kind of really tops off and finishes up and rounds off this Caravelle T6.1. It just feels like it belongs in the VW group now. It's not like lagging behind. And then some of my favorite features in the Caravelle, which are not new to this T6.1, but are kind of unique to the Caravelle, and you did get them in the T6, but I'll mention them here anyway. The electronic doors, man, like those are so cool. You pull on the door handle and the door slides open, and then you pull on the door handle and the door slides closed, or you click the key fob and the door slides open and close. It's like you can control the doors. There are also buttons in the middle, so you can get in the car, press the buttons, and the doors close or open or whatever you need. I love that about the Caravelle. The Caravelle also has the centered table. So it's got a bench at the back, it's got 2 chairs in the center, and it's got this round table that can pop up. It makes the back of the Caravelle really pleasant and really nice. There have been a couple of times in the last month or so with quarantines and lockdowns and this coronavirus rubbish where I've taken the Caravelle, found myself a gorgeous spot on top of a mountain, parked up, rotated the chairs because they can rotate in 360 and face whatever direction you want, put my table up, got myself a book, got myself a pizza, and just put my feet up, read, ate some pizza, enjoyed the view. It's such a cool car to be able to do stuff like that in. It's just what makes this Caravelle for me. Like, you can go anywhere in it. You can just like really enjoy using the car in like everyday settings. And I drove this car. I've done, at this point, recording this video, I've done 4,400 kilometers over like a 4-week period. And I've taken it to the Cederberg on some dirt roads. I've driven it through the Karoo on some mountain passes. I've been to like a whole bunch of places. Long road driving, town driving, dirt road driving, mountain pass driving. And it just has performed fantastically. So it feels to me like, especially with the 4Motion, like this car is capable of going, like you can do 90% of the roads in the world in this car comfortably. It's comfortable to drive in. It has great audio. It's got great connectivity. It's got great technology. You got fantastic seats at the back. You can load people in here. You got enough power. Fuel consumption, I've managed to keep below 10 liters per 100. And when I say below 10 liters per 100, I mean 9.9 liters per 100. So it's not over the top in terms of economy, but it is such a well-appointed, such a well-rounded car that I would say the Caravelle for me is my absolute favorite car in the world. Currently, as of January 2021, Pricing of this Caravelle is set at 1.15 million rand, which is like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. Like when you consider all the tech that this thing comes with, and I'm driving now, the southeasters banging on the side of the vehicle, and I'm like not having to fight the car to keep it in the lane. Like there's just so much tech built in here. There's so many cool things that make this car an absolute joy and an absolute pleasure to live with and to drive every day. So yeah, I have loved every minute of driving this Caravelle. I think T6.1 is the right amount of upgrades. It's the right amount of facelift. It's the right amount of like new features just to make this car not feel like it's lagging. It can compete with its competitors. In fact, I think it's miles ahead of its competitors, and it just is a fantastic, fantastic car. So if you're in the market for a people carrier of any sort, do yourself a favor, get down to a VW dealership, get into the T6.1 Caravelle and take it for a drive. Have a look at the features, play with the chairs, play with the table, like look at the tech on the front. Go on a windy day and go drive the thing on the highway and see what it's like with the Crosswind Assist. It really is something that like I struggle to explain to you, but like you have to experience. Like you can't really understand how good this Crosswind Assist is until you're driving the car and you see everybody else wobbling on the road and you're thinking to yourself like, I'm basically driving a bus, why am I not wobbling? And then you realize it's like the car's taking care of you. So yeah, I've loved every minute of it. It's a great car. Thanks for watching my review. Please hit the subscribe button if you're still around, and I hope to see you in the next one.